She said, "How much is my body worth?" In the middle of a courtroom, under oath, in front of the man she claims traumatized her for years. Today, you'll understand why Jane's testimony, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, may have changed the course of the trial. A contradictory statement, luxury jewelry, a broken trip, and even possible connections to celebrities like 50 Cent, Mick Jagger, and DiCaprio. Do you think a victim can be paid by her abuser during the trial and still keep her lawyer with his money? Drop a comment. Is that help or manipulation? Imagine starting a trial day trying to cancel the trial itself. That's what Diddy's defense attempted on the 20th, claiming that witness Brianna Bangalan had lied about the date she was allegedly assaulted on the 17th floor balcony. But the judge was blunt. Getting the date wrong isn't the same as making up a story. And since Brianna herself admitted she wasn't absolutely sure about the day, the defense's argument didn't stick. A confused witness is not a false witness. The attempt was seen as legal desperation and only increased the courtroom tension before the next big testimony. Have you ever loved someone who destroyed you? Jane said she did. Diddy's ex-girlfriend stated under oath that she still loves him. Even after saying she vomited out of self-disgust after the first freak-off, she revealed she participated in those sessions due to emotional pressure and for an even stronger reason: their child. Diddy paid her $30,000 a month so she and the boy could live comfortably. She traded trauma for stability. The question now is, does that make her an accomplice, a survivor, or just too human to be judged coldly? Jane said that after the abuse, she still cared for Diddy like a baby. Despite claiming deep trauma, she described tender moments, which made the defendant laugh in court. The catch? He was warned for reacting during testimony. The courtroom is not a stage. This mix of affectionate memories and heavy accusations confused the jury and gave ammunition to the defense, who claimed it was all consensual. During questioning, Jane was asked about the luxury gifts she received from Diddy: Bottega Veneta bags, expensive necklaces. The defense lawyer tried to paint a picture of luxury in exchange for consent. Jane fired back, "How much is my body worth?" It was an acidic, powerful answer. And split the courtroom. Impactful statement or ambiguous confession? Some applauded it as an act of resistance, others saw it as putting a price on herself. The judge, staying neutral, simply warned, "Answer objectively." Jane revealed that for 2 months, she and Diddy were together. With no abuse sessions, they lived like a normal couple in the spring of 2022. But on her birthday, everything fell apart. She begged to go out for dinner. He refused. They dined in the hotel restaurant, and then he organized another hotel night with multiple partners. Birthday present or disguised punishment? Days later, she sent a message saying she loved everything. That would become one of the biggest contradictions in her testimony. To make up for the traumatic birthday, Diddy took Jane to Turks and Caicos. She believed they'd finally have a trip without a freak-off. But upon arrival, she noticed men already positioned for another session. The trip turned into a trap. Worse, she realized there was a hierarchy among the women. Some, the public ones, were protected. Others, like her, were used discreetly. Luxury was just a disguise, and the cycle of emotional, sexual, and financial control resumed. Jane revealed that she still receives $30,000 a month from Diddy. The contract, signed in 2023, lasts 2 years and is still active. Even more controversial, the lawyer representing her in court is also paid by Diddy. Does this sound like help or manipulation? This fact cast doubt on the credibility of her testimony and raised a crucial question: how can you trust a witness whose entire life still depends on the accused? The prosecution began considering an explosive hypothesis. Was Jane embedded among the victims? She claimed trauma, but also love. Claimed abuse, but praised the relationship. And the most serious, she compared herself to Cassie, another victim, saying Cassie's story was identical to hers. If Jane is lying, she could bring down other victims too. That duality became fuel for the defense and poison for the prosecution. The court must now separate truth from emotional convenience. On day 21, a new issue. The prosecution requested the removal of juror number 6. Why? He allegedly lied on the jury questionnaire and showed sympathy for Diddy, including indirect personal connections. The defense pushed back hard, claiming the removal was racially motivated, since the juror is black dot justice or racial strategy. The judge postponed the decision to the next day, but trust in the jury had already been shaken, and the shadow of bias loomed over the verdict. If you made it this far, comment one word: manipulation or freedom, and don't forget to subscribe. Your subscription makes a difference. Tony Yayo, ex-G Unit member, revealed something alarming. Diddy allegedly threatened 50 Cent. According to him, Diddy sent a message saying, "I'm ready for our next meeting," suggesting he'd be armed. That happened after 50 rejected him. Even after Diddy tried to woo him with luxury gifts, rejection turned into obsession. The threats went nowhere, but showed how Diddy treated rejection with anger masked as charm, and how even nearby celebrities could be in his crosshairs. Another bombshell, Mia. Diddy's former assistant from 2007 to 2017 accused Mick Jagger of harassment. It allegedly happened in Paris during a trip where she accompanied Diddy. She says she managed to escape, but the trauma lingered. Another celebrity dragged in. There's no official move yet to subpoena Jagger, but now that his name has been mentioned in court, it could become a new pressure point, expanding the case far beyond Diddy. In another curious moment, Jane recalls Diddy watching Leonardo DiCaprio on TV and saying, "That Titanic asshole?" Sounds like just a line. Not when you remember that Cassie testified earlier that a famous actor, likely DiCaprio, almost joined a freak-off with Diddy. Admiration or masked resentment? Diddy oscillated between wanting to be friends with icons and hating them for not. Submitting to his power, his relationship with celebrities says a lot about his ego and isolation. Gifts, dinners, luxury trips, but all came at an invisible cost. Silence, submission, total availability. Jane said she wanted a dinner outside the hotel. What did she get? A 3-day freak-off. She asked for a girls' night, got a session with strangers instead. It wasn't pampering. It was a bargaining chip. What looked like glamour was a gilded cage. Jane's prison had Persian rugs, but no open doors. Even after all she revealed, Jane kept saying, "I still love Diddy, but also, he traumatized me." She wasn't locked up, but she was conditioned. Love became an excuse. Money became fuel, and the $30,000 a month contract is still active. How do you judge when the control is subtle but constant? Her inner conflict became the jury's biggest dilemma: empathy or suspicion. Jane showed screenshots saying, "Loved everything," but also said she cried after every session, complained about Diddy, but asked him to pay for her friend's dinner, said she hated the hotel nights, and later asked for another trip. Contradiction or abuse adaptation syndrome? These messages walk a fine line between consent and survival, and now the jury must decide which side they land on. With increasingly contradictory testimonies, the courtroom is boiling over. Jane may have helped or sabotaged the prosecution. What seemed like a clear-cut abuse case is now tangled in money, emotion, status, and control. The jury is facing a puzzle with no borders. Every piece placed seems to displace another, and the once obvious verdict now feels more distant than ever. A witness who still loves the accused, a $1 million contract still in force, a lawyer paid by the defendant. Is this a victim who couldn't escape, or a strategic gear in the defense machine? Twisted truths dismantle straight accusations, and when one voice confuses more than clarifies, all other voices begin to lose their strength too. Diddy wasn't just an artist. He was an empire, a man with private jets, political ties, celebrity parties, and secrets locked away. But how far does that power reach inside a courtroom? Influence buys silence, but not justice. Or does it? What the jury decides in the coming weeks may redefine what justice means for the powerful. This was the summary of days 20 and 21 of Diddy's trial, perhaps the tensest so far. If you know an organization that helps women victims of physical violence, drop it in the comments. And of course, if this content held your attention till now, help us out. Like, comment, and subscribe. Stick with us until the end of this story. This video is based on public information disclosed in the trial records. All individuals are considered innocent until proven guilty. The analysis presented here does not replace official legal sources, but is for informative and narrative purposes only.